Hello, folks. Nearly slipped and fell to be grisly death then. We've had a wood chip drop up at the top. The council's been down and they've dropped off a load of wood chip, which is exactly what I need. So I'm going to go and get some. In fact, I'm going to get about 20 barrows if I can, because there's a massive mound of it. Jonathan up at the top and Ken, they've had a load. Mick's just been telling me about it, so I'm going to go have a look at it now. Alright, the paths. Right. Well, it's not exactly decorative bark, is it? But it'll be alright for the paths. That's what I want it for. Apparently, we can get some regular drops now of this, which is brilliant, because it's ideal. Put about 3 or 4 inches depth on my paths, we should be okay. But I know somebody's just been telling me that Pat wants some as well, Patricia, the allotment secretary. So I can't take it all, but I'll take about half of it. Let's see how we get on. Okay, so all I'm doing at the moment is getting it on. Let's get it on. I've done about 8 barrows so far, and I've got about another 7 to go. I'm taking 15 barrows. I'm not going to take it all because that's just ignorant, isn't it? But the rats have already been at it. Not rats, obviously, but the other allotment is. Apparently there was about 7 tons dropped off, and I'm going to be taking about 1.5 tons because I've not had any this year. I need it for my paths. I'll show you where I'm up to. So I've started up at the top, and it's getting a decent coverage. It's about 3 or 4 inches deep, going all the way down. I've stopped there because I want to leave this passage free for going up and down with my wheelbarrow, and then I'm sort of stopping here. As you can see, that's a lighter colour, and then that's the darker stuff, the older stuff. I've ripped the weeds up, and I'm just going to leave them on top to mulch now. Just clearing a path out the way. So yeah, I've done this bottom bit. You can see up to here and up to here, and I'll be just stacking it in there now. So there's a couple of barrows there that I've just stacked up. I'm going to rake that flat and walk over it and flatten it off. So I'll need another barrow for there, another for there, and maybe in. So that's 2, 3. I'm going to need 3. And then to fill these gaps in here, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8. Maybe 8 should do the trick. Right, let's crack on. Right, so as you can see, the paths have been covered. These beds want covering as well. I'm leaving that as a mulch on. This is the beetroot leaf. I'm going to leave that as a mulch and then cover it up with a cardboard or something and let that rot down over winter and then get integrated into the soil come springtime. A lot of the beds, well, I say a lot, probably about 1/3 of the beds are covered at the moment. But yeah, you get the weed coming through. I want to suppress the weeds so it's not going to be completely horrible come springtime when it all comes absolutely covered in weeds. It's just a matter of maintenance at this time of year, really, guys. But I just haven't got the time. I've got the inclination, but I haven't got the time to do it at the moment. We just do what you can do, and if you can keep on top of it, then that's ideal. It's great, like. Right, let's get some kale in. Got some dwarf French kale. Let's get cracking with that. We'll check on the pak choy as well. Just a quick pak choy update. Pak choy Shanghai. Some of them are looking pristine, but some of them you can see are looking a bit bug bit, aren't they? Something's been having a go at them. Always a danger, that. I think it's some sort of larvae that's been eating them. But that's probably going to be slug action. So to prevent that, we've got the slug fort. Now, if you remember from a few weeks ago, was creating the slug fort. It's basically just a watering tray, and inside that we put the salt. Now, natural moisture in the atmosphere has got to that, and it's turned it into a kind of brine underneath. Then we've got the buckets on top with the sand in for stability, and then another watering tray on top of that. The idea of that is, if we do get the slugs coming along, the slugs will go into there and either perish or be deterred by the salt and bugger off. And obviously we can't put the buckets in there, the actual growing buckets in there, because of the salt. So you've got to put an extra layer on top and then put the water in there, put the buckets into. I'll show you. Instead of waffling on, I'll show you. So we've got the compost there, some clover compost. I'm going to put the clover compost into the buckets and then a handful of that. This is just for demonstration purposes. I've got plenty more plants to put out, but I'm going to do 3 on this episode, and we'll get these in and into there and get the kale in. We've got kale there, dwarf green kale, and we're going to get these kale plants in. Alright, yeah, so they're just planted in there. Bloodfish and bone, bit of compost, obviously, mix it round, just like a half hand of bloodfish and bone mixed in with the compost, and I've done that in all 3, and just make a little impression, just pull a bit out so you've got a bit of space to put your little plants in, and then pop it in there. Okay, now all that remains to do is give them a bit of a water in, and the job's a good one, so we'll do that now. Okay, give them a bit of a water in. Just to get them seated. Flopping over that, I'll stand it up a bit straighter and firm them up a little bit around the base, because the brassicas, they like a bit of a firm seat. And then, camera works rubbish in it. Then once the roots get themselves established again, we'll be laughing. They should come on fine and dandy. All happily protected within the slug fort. The slug fort, brilliant. Love it. Can't get in there, the slugs. Get in there, they can't get in there. The salt will stop them. Slugs and snails. And puppy dogs' tails. Happy? Okay, hope you like that. This has been Guru Murphinda. You've been beautiful, fantastic and fragrant if you're a lady. You've been masculine, forthright and virile if you're a gentleman. And if you've been something in between, you've been something in between. We'll catch you next time on the Little Farmer's Farm. And keep growing with your heads down. Look after each other, boys and girls. Take care now, and God bless. Ta-da!
It's definitely putting something.
What's that, Bradley?
I have my eyes on that.
Do you?
It's lovely, isn't it?
You can stroke them. You can stroke them.
That's like in Bolton, isn't it?
Yeah, this is like Bolton Library.
You like monster trucks, don't you? Eh? Do you like monster trucks? Have you been drinking and driving?
Everyone asks
There's James.
Turtles.
Ninja Turtles.